Well, this is a special day. In addition to Theo's great close of our weekly memorization, which if you haven't seen it, go to December 15th, Larson Training Center, a weekly recitation YouTube video, and you will see at the end Theo giving a great 20-minute soliloquy. Yeah, soliloquy, right. But today's a special day because we have a graduation. We haven't done a graduation for a while. And one of the reasons it's special is this is the last student who was at the other campus, who's now graduating. Everybody else started here. And we have Edward Edge, who started in the first campus over in the Learning Village, our first building, which was the size of these 2 rooms. And then we moved into one that's the size of these 4. But it was just one big open place. And it was jam-packed, right? Yeah, 30-some computers. But today, we are going to acknowledge Michael Anderson's graduation. And it's a special thing that we do that. But before we do that part, I want to give a little history of the school and why it's so important, where we started, where we're going. So back in 2011, we started this program. The school, Larson Training Centers, has been around since 1989. And it was started by a guy named Dale Larson, who wanted to help the less fortunate, and his ambition was everybody should be able to buy tennis shoes for their kids. Just a simple thing. Everybody should be able to buy tennis shoes for their kids. All kids should be able to have tennis shoes. And, you know, it's kind of interesting that when we started here in Las Vegas, we got started because of a guy that was the CEO of the largest shoe selling company in the world, helped us, let us come into his facility, provided us this building, and gave us a lot of support, including hiring our graduates. That's Tony Shea. So the idea started with the guy who said, I want to give tennis shoes, everybody to be able to afford tennis shoes, and it ended with our school starting here by a guy who sold millions of dollars worth of tennis shoes every year. And our ambition back then was to get inside, to be teaching people inside a school, inside of prisons, because there's a fallacy that ex-felons can't get hired. There's a lot of companies that will not hire ex-felons. But there's more companies that will hire ex-felons than there are ex-felons who are qualified for the jobs. The thing is, nobody hires anybody, whether you're an ex-felon or not, who is not qualified to do the work, who does not have marketable skills. Businesses are in business to make money. They're not schools. They're not there to train people. And so the simple thing is, if you're in prison and you get out of prison and you don't have marketable skills, what do? Labor jobs. Okay, maybe if you're young enough to do labor jobs, if you're healthy enough to do labor jobs, you do labor jobs. You might be able to do non-meaningful jobs, but they're jobs, like being a greeter at Walmart. That's not really a meaningful job in the spectrum of, was anybody when they're 7 years old said, when I grow up, I want to be a greeter at Walmart? You know, that's not what it is, but those are things that people get. And Walmart, you know, should be acknowledged, because at least they're trying to do something to help people who don't have skills, that are old, that can't do physical work. But for the most part, employers don't hire people who don't have skills, and most employers are not in the business of training people. So if you don't have skills and you're an adult, and you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, if you don't have skills and you're an adult, where do you get them? And so we opened the campus in Nevada. We worked on it. We've been doing it. And last year, when the state came out and did their audit, they told us we had the highest placement rate in the state of Nevada, higher than UNLV, CSN, Phoenix, Toro, every place. And if you think about it, that's extraordinary, because our people generally start around 5% chance. of getting stable and meaningful employment. And it's not just the people that are incarcerated, but it's people who, we have students who are okay. Was that you, Phyllis? Was that me? So people who live at Catholic Charities, Salvation Army, the Mission, you know, we don't turn anybody away, and everybody here is on scholarship. And our goal was to get inside of the prisons, and starting Monday, December what? 21st, December 21st, 2015, we'll be operating this school inside of a prison. And then we've been approved to operate inside the Southern Desert also. So those are big accomplishments, and it's really kind of as Theo said in his talk, his soliloquy, that it happened because people here decided they wanted to learn the skills that they needed to do. It's not a thing that we can force people to do, or anybody can force you to do it. So, you know, we are where we are because of our students here who wanted to learn, and actually our students in California also who go to school there to subsidize our being able to have this campus and everybody here going to school. When we started the school actually, the symbol for the school is a shield, like most universities, and it has a sword on it, but it's kind of hard to see. That is called a gladius. And the school is Larson Training Centers, but this is the Gladius Business School program that you're all in. And we chose a gladius because it's a good symbol for what we do here. The gladius was the Roman short sword. This is the sword that Roman soldiers carried. This is the same weight. This is a training sword. It's the same weight. It's the same length, except the Roman sword would be maybe 2 inches longer because it would come to a sharp point. But it looked like this, exactly like this. Same dimensions, and it had a sharp point, so it would be easy to go in. And then in a short period of time, you now have a wound that's about 3.5 inches wide. And so if you catch somebody in their ribs or their armpit or their thigh, you're probably, you know, that's probably all you need to do. They're not going to be standing much longer. And but this sword, unlike the swords that we see in the movies, is very short, which means what? You just got to get close to people. And this is not a hacking sword. This is not like that. This is like this. So that means you have to be even closer, because if, you know, the guy can only be about this far away, because you need to go like that. So again, it's not like you see in the movies where they're against the wall and you lunge out there and get somebody. Also, the thing about this sword was you were designed to carry a shield in your left hand. And that shield would cover half of you and be available to cover the guy next to you if he pulled his sword back. So you had to work closely with other people with this. And if you can imagine, or if you see in Gladiator, rows of guys marching down, and you have the sword on this side, not this side. Your sword is on this side because your shield is on this hand. So it would be you couldn't carry your sword on this hand because of your shield. But it would be here. You march down, and then you have your sword, your gladius, and you're marching down like this. And then when you get close enough, and the barbarians have their tree branches and their pitchforks and whatever they have, if you have discipline, then you're unstoppable. And for almost 2,000 years, the Romans controlled the world. And in fact, they still do to a great extent today. So Rome was founded in about 753 BC, and Rome was conquered around in the 400s, 476 AD in the West. But in the East, in Constantinople, in Turkey today, they went on until the 1400s. So that was over 2,000 years that Rome was the dominant figure in the world. And the reason they were the dominant figure in the world was because they could enforce their rule. They could protect themselves. And the tool that they used was the simple little gladius. And they were able to do it. I'm going to pass this around so everybody can feel the way. But they were able to do it because people were very well trained on how to use the gladius. They did it for all day long. They practiced using the gladius. They knew what to do. They were experts at using the gladius. So you didn't have to have a person raise his arm up like this, for example. You know, you just needed a little. Or he just had to expose his thigh or his rib and just pump, you know, strike, guys down, walk over him, use your shield, crack open his skull, and keep moving forward. And that's how they did it. They're highly disciplined. But it was all based upon a very simple tool. And so at the school, that's kind of the same thing we have adopted, this idea that if you can learn to master a very simple tool, you can get whatever you want. You can achieve the goals that you want. And that simple tool for us is typing, because everything starts with typing. And here, you know, what did you start at, Mike?
Maybe like 2 or 3.
2 or 3, and you're up to 20.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fantastic. And you have confidence in doing it now, right? Okay, so it starts with typing. And then once you know how to type, then you have the ability to do other things, like office stuff. And then you have the ability to do the cloud apps. So it starts with typing, having the confidence to do that. And 20 years from now, when half the jobs that exist don't even exist today, everybody who's going to be good at those jobs is people who are going to know how to type. So knowing how to type today enables you to have success in the future. So that's why we chose the gladius as our symbol for the school. And I think Mike is a very good example of somebody who has mastered a simple skill and is a good representative of what the school is all about. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about Mike. Mike came to us because Lieutenant Scally believed in him and wanted to help Mike. And so I got a call from Lieutenant Scally when Mike was with him. Remember that? And Scally gave me the phone, or Mike the phone, to talk to me. Because like a lot of people, Mike was resistant to coming here. He just wanted to get out there and do work, do good, you know, start a new path in his life, right?
Right.
And Scally kind of did the thing of, no, you're going, right? You should go, it'll be good for you. And like a lot of people, it was, well, I don't really know. I've gotten this far. I don't know how to do that stuff. I've gotten this far. Do I really need it? And also, on the other hand, I don't want to embarrass myself in case I can't do it, right? There might have been some of that. But a lot of people don't start because they don't want to be embarrassed about not having skills. But everybody starts with no skills. And just also the fear of the unknown. But Mike came anyway. And I'm pretty sure if he said, Scally, I just can't do it, or LT, I just can't do it, Lieutenant might have said, okay, maybe not. Because Lieutenant's been with this program from the beginning. And he's witnessed people before not wanting to go. And then they go and they come back later and say, thank you, Lieutenant, for making me go there. So that's how it started with Mike. It was getting on the phone with me and me saying, yeah, this would be perfect for you. Don't worry about it. Just come on down. And, you know, but the important thing is Mike did come down. And then when Mike came down, at a certain point in the very beginning, he decided he was going to do beyond just the minimum. Sat in the front, taking notes, has 2 or 3 notebooks. How many do you have? 3. 3 notebooks. 3 notebooks. When we're in our TED Talk class, I can count on Mike to have an opinion, sits in the front. I don't know, is that because you can't see or just want to be in the front?
No, just I used to sit in the back to hide.
Okay.
And then I wanted to sit in the front,
Okay.
You want to learn something, you get in the front.
Okay, so Mike got in the front, developed the habits of not just watching the videos, but taking notes, thinking about them, participating in conversations afterwards. And Mike, has been a benefit to the school. The school has gotten better because Mike is here. Mike has helped on other things. Mike has tried to help on things where, unfortunately, he was involved with people like the rent-a-cop people here who were looking not for people to help. They didn't have good intent like Mike did. But the point isn't that. The point is that Mike came here, and instead of hiding in the back or just going with the flow, he got out in front of it and helped set the current of where we're going. Mike has been a very good student. So Mike, why don't you come on up? And we'll clap after. This is like when we have dinner at the Italian American Club. In the old days, we used to pray after dinner. So anyway, we don't have your certificates printed, right, Phyllis? But we'll have them Monday. Okay. The printer isn't working. And see, is Mike on screen? Good. Move over a little bit. You can get on camera. So Mike, thank you very much. You've made the school a much better place. When we moved here, Mike helped move. Was the first guy, I think, from Casa Grande to say, I'm in, brought other people, right? Got other people to come to the school, right? Always pitching the school, promoting the school, doing the best he can. When we actually moved in here, helped, and then helped those people, right? Right. Move their stuff out.
Exactly.
So, Mike, if you want to say something.
Yeah, I want to say that I never thought I would make it to the end, but I did, and first and foremost that I'm tired of being the way I was, and in order for me to be different, I have to put something else into my brain to be different because I had survival skills, but survival skills just weren't working. I had to basically try to create something else, start doing something that somebody else suggested instead of what I suggested. And a lot of times I thought the school was just up here and I would just be coming, but after a while you start thinking like, there's a whole life out there, and if you want to be involved in it, you're going to have to learn these skills because computers is the sign of the times. And if somebody's willing to help you, you better take advantage of it because you might not understand it right now, but later on you will, when you don't know, because a lot of times I was stuck. You get to a certain point in life that you don't want to learn no more, because I'm stuck doing what I love doing, just hustling, and it gets to the point that every time I hustle, I end up in prison. So in order for me to change, I had to put something in my brain to make the change complete, and it's still not complete. So this is just the start of a nice wave, and the people that's in my life right now is people that's trying to, whatever they're doing, they're in the right spot, no matter whatever their plans are. This is always going to be in their life because they're going to always say, yeah, I remember when you was here. I remember when you was here. Now I'm doing this. And then the director, he got his hands in a lot of stuff too. And he's a businessman. So I consider that, I consider myself as a little businessman too. But when it's all said and done, and ain't a lot of people out there trying to help you in the right way. A lot of people want to help, but they got ulterior motives. And even though whatever their motives is, it's going to get you one way. It's going to get you in or out, and it's going to be your choice, And before I leave, I want to thank Lieutenant Scally for even offering this to me, because when I was at the place, everybody was saying, "Oh, he got you trapped in the school, you know, because everybody there is making money." But I found myself saying, "Yeah, I wanted to go there, you know, knowing that I didn't, you know." But I reversed psychology, saying like, "Yeah, I know I needed it, but I didn't want to tell them that, you know." But where I'm at right now, I'm glad I came because I met the director. You know, he know a lot of people, so that means that I can get to know him if I choose to, you know. And then he got Phyllis, and Phyllis is a hell of a teacher. You know, she got a lot of patience, and you know, and if it wasn't for her, I don't think a lot of people wouldn't be here. Even, I mean, if you didn't know, you wouldn't be here because she helps a lot, you know. And my hat's off to her. But I just want to thank God for just giving me the chance to even consider doing this, you know, because before I wouldn't even consider to do this, you know. But whatever I do, I may not do it this good, but I find something that I can good, even if it's just moving these computers around or just hustling, you know, you being there when you need me. You know, it ain't about money, you know, it's times for that. But, you know, it's about, yeah, if you find somebody trying to fill you up with something that you can make a change with, you stick with him, you know, just like the money man, you know. He may not give you no money at first, but you stick with him. And as long as you stick with him before you know it, you will get paid, you know. And that's the key, you know, you got to put in work, you know. But I just want to thank you and thank the director for having me.
Okay, before we acknowledge that, Chris Anderson has asked that we send him videos for TED. Can you talk about TED Talks a little bit?
Oh, in the TED Talks. Hey, and I want to thank Sherry too. Because Sherry was a big inspiration to me too. You know, because she was fine. You know, that makes you want to come to school. You know, but that's on a good thing. You know, when I helped her, you know, I didn't mind because she's business too. You know, and then you always want a lady that's business. You know, because that's what life is. You know, if you ain't got one of them, you're gonna lose. But TED Talk is every morning. With TED Talk, it got to the point that it taught me a lot of things that I never would even know because I would never even do no research on that. Who's gonna watch TV and find something about some connectones, some memes, you know? Or do you really think? Are you really thinking? I mean, how do you say that? Help me out. Do you really got control of your own thinking? You know, whoever thinks like that, you know, you always think, yeah, I got control, but you know, you're just talking because in order to know these things, you gotta have to do your research. And TED Talk, these people that's on that TED Talk, they're not just talking. These people spend their life researching it. So when they say something, and if you don't think what they think, you need to go through some research. But it opened me up to make me a little smarter because now it makes me feel like, well, maybe this is right. You know, maybe I was taught wrong because a lot of times when we were growing up, our parents and their parents, they really didn't know. So they went on what their parents told them and they passed it down to us. And I was like, Mom, this don't make sense to me. Well, I'm gonna believe that, you know, I know because you're stuck. But I don't have to be, you know. Technology is crazy, you know. Once you start opening up and just letting it come in, some of the stuff be making a lot of sense. And some of it, if it don't, it's just a yet. But I appreciate that because it makes you a little bit brighter, and it makes you learn, and makes you wanna get somewhere like them. You know, and all them is professionals. You know, and if you're gonna do something, you gotta be professional at it. You know, and it's either like it's two ways, the right or the wrong way. And that's what it did for me. It just made me a better person.
Is there a TED Talk you can remember in particular that you particularly like?
Let me see. I liked a few of them, but I definitely like the one when they said that everybody when people was just going around you and stuff, are we just robots? I mean, they were saying like, yeah, did you decide to do this, or did this come because somebody else did? But you know, the way I could say that, like the government, they got a way of making you like just the other day, like, you know, if you think it's a problem to go to the voting booth, you know, we got your vote already by not voting. You know, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Just like when you talk about the DMV, they changed the wording on it that the less you do, the better off they are, you know. So if you're thinking you're doing something good by not signing something, that's where they got it. Don't sign and they win, you know. And when you lazy, they get you, you know. And the less you do, the more they get. And then we can't really say that it's their fault because they put it out there. They're just smart, you know. And a lot of people, like, when they're out there, they prey on being lazy, being weak. Oh yeah, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do that. Well, that means that they're gonna win anyway. You know, so you can't say that they did it. Or I used to say, like I said, it's rigged. I think it's rigged, but yeah, it's rigged. It's rigged because I won't do it. You know, I won't get out there and sign the paper. I won't show up. So the less people show up, the more they can get. You know, but in order to have something in life, you gotta participate. You know, and that's all the way. You know, you gotta show up. You know, you just no more thinking like, well, it's gonna happen anyway. Yeah, of course it's gonna happen. You know, because if you don't go up and, you know, put your hand in it, you know, it's always gonna happen against you. And just TED Talks, period. I like them because it just shows you about the connectones in your brain. When he said, yeah, you keep on going over something and it goes stronger and stronger and stronger. And I never really thought that. I really thought that my cells were just dead. You know, you know, I really could, you know, because me growing up, they would say, oh yeah, you burn that out, you just burn. I never know that I can get it back. You know, by just doing the right thing. You know, you got to study. You know, which I don't do a lot, but you know, I'm gonna start. You know, and it started from here. You know, thank you very much for letting me share.
Okay, so thank you, world, for being there. This is another end of another great week here at Larson Training Centers, and we will be here through Christmas week. Well, other than Christmas Day, but we'll be here Friday. No, Friday is Christmas, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you, world, for being there. We'll see you next week.